Delay in getting started with our afternoon program, but we're going to jump right into the presentation that we have, and we'll catch up on time. So those of you still in the forum, I would ask that you make your way back, and I'll go ahead now and introduce our next guest. Once again, you recognize Martin, and Martin has a microphone in hand, and we'll be using it effectively. And what Martin is going to interview our esteemed panel on, essentially is, well, actually, let me first have Martin introduce his fellow panelists, and in fact, I'll let Martin introduce precisely what he would like to convey here during his panel discussion.
Is this working? Yep. Okay. Right. So we're just getting mic'd up now. Yeah. So this session is about going global from Central and Eastern Europe and the challenges, and hopefully we'll be able to get some tips on how to do that and learn from some of the experiences of the panelists. So if we'll maybe start right down at the far end with some introductions, and we'll work our way down the panel. Dmitry, do you want to start off and just introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Dmitry Gorshkov. I'm a young rookie entrepreneur from Moscow, Russia, but I'm global focused. I'm really humbled to be here because, you know, I'm green and all these guys, they achieved a lot, each one of them.
Okay, Laurent?
Hello again, so I'm Laurent, I'm the CEO of Yodel. And I'm very happy to be here again.
No.
They're waiting for the microphone to come on.
Dmitry Shymkiv, Microsoft Ukraine General Manager, running a small startup called Microsoft Ukraine. Also a former startupper.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Aljosa Jenko. I'm originally from Slovenia, but live now in London for 2 years and in California for the 3 years before that. I'm a co-founder of HD Pool and the president, and the company is now present in 14 countries across Central and Eastern Europe, Asia, and other international markets, so I can share some of the tips.
Okay, so a few different issues that I've kind of brainstormed here, but I'm sure we'll have lots more from you lot as well. When we say going global, I suppose it's not, although the internet is global, you can't really practically just go global, just flick a switch and suddenly you've got a successful worldwide market. So I suppose maybe one of the first things is picking a market to go into. Has anyone had any particular thoughts on how you'd pick a market to expand beyond this region from?
When you start really small, like we did, me and my partner, you basically pick the biggest market, the US market, the most exposed one, the most written about market, you know, TechCrunch, you know, all that stuff. So you pick the biggest target and you hope you hit it because, you know, it's basically big. And by the time you pass a few iterations, you focus, obviously. Maybe you shift to completely different market or a smaller segment of the original market, but first you just pick the biggest opportunity, basically.
Okay.
In my case, it's a little bit different. So we're a small company, right? We have 50 people, but since the very beginning, we had a team here and a team in Silicon Valley, and so we are very, I don't want to say global, it's a wrong word, but let's say we are very international in our thinking, and so we always go to where the market is. So for us, the market is clearly not here in Ukraine. Ukraine for us is really where we do innovation, development, and research. The market is in the US. And we also have a client in Japan, which is very, very far away. And we are very used to this. By nature of how the company started, we had to be in 2 continents. And so for us, whether we have a client in California or a client in Asia, is about the same. It's just 10 hours more of travel. 2 very important things in our case when we are thinking of market and market extension. The first one is always go to where the clients are. And this is very important for us. You cannot pitch on the phone. It just doesn't work. So we have a very interesting client in Tokyo. We went there. And it's not once. We went there many times. And they appreciate this and they value you. We won deals just because of that. Just because we bring more attention to them, made us win the deal. And in some cases, we won deal on paper. And we didn't have the product, and we were going to develop the product with the client. And it always works when you have this kind of relationship. The second thing, very important in our case, is find the right partner. So, we are a small company. Usually we have no idea what we are doing. We have no idea what the product is or what the client really wants. So if you find a partner that will educate you, that's very important. In our case, they educated us and they also invested in us, Qualcomm, BlackBerry, and Best Buy. So they're really teaching us what consumer want. And this is advice that I would recommend, especially for small company, is really find the first client that is going to teach you what they want. And usually you have no idea what they want, but they are the one who will tell you. It's very hard to sell that because you actually want to hear from them what they want before you tell them what you have. And the second thing is find the right partner or strategic investors because they are the one who will bring you to these people.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Laurent. You actually stolen everything I want to say. Again, I would say follow the money. Big time, follow the money and find a client. And again, I will be talking from the perspective that I used to have when I was starting the company. And my first client was one company who taught me everything, who taught me how to deliver, how to sell. They actually give me feedback how I sell, and they say, Dima, you suck. They told me feedback, the way you dress and the way you eat matters when you face the client. They told me that there is a culture difference besides Ukraine, and you need to understand that. And so back to your point, find the client that is willing to actually pay the money and who is friendly enough to coach you. And don't limit yourself to only international. There is a lot of companies, and there is clients here in Ukraine as well. We just used to think that our innovation is always needed somewhere. There is always, I'm very proud what Vyudel did, so I'm very, very, very big fan. So, because there is opportunity here. Internationally, if we look internationally, again, find a customer, find a partner, and the partner could be different. It could be a big company who help you to sell and help you to sell, and because sales is what drives business of any startup. Second, because this is an investment discussion overall. Know why you need money, because traveling to Tokyo is not cheap, right? Many times is not cheap. Traveling to Denmark or traveling to US is not cheap, but you have to be there to talk. Option one, you travel. Option two, you hire somebody. You need money to do it. If you don't have your own money, you need investment. But then ask investors for the money, particularly you need for that particular task or particular areas. Don't sell, and we had a good discussion, don't sell your soul and your ideas because you just need money and you don't know why you need to spend this money. I've been working with VCs. There are great VCs, fantastic, with whom you can learn a lot. And there is a kiss of death. Be careful, because it's different to differentiate who is a friend, who is a foe.
Okay, so what was our case? I started HE Pool, which is an advertising network in Slovenia back in 2000. We captured more than 50-60% market share at that point because there was nobody else. Really tested the market, tested the model, and when we were ready, we decided to expand to the former Yugoslavian markets, to Serbia, Macedonia, Bosnia, and Croatia. Why? Because our clients really required support across all these markets. So basically, again, we were trying to figure out which markets were underdeveloped, which markets had potential, and also which markets had some synergies. And then after, in the next expansion, in 2007, when we decided to cover the whole Central and Eastern European region, investing in Czech, in Romania, in Bulgaria, in Austria, having some reselling offices in Germany, a headquarter in London, and so on, we always followed this road, basically trying to capture a certain region which had some value for our clients or agencies or partners, and we basically could utilize the synergies. On the other side, we decided Central and Eastern Europe was not large enough, was the challenge, and went to Asia. So now currently we have offices in Hong Kong, Singapore, India, and expanding further in the region, and building partnerships with also other emerging regions, with Latin American partners, with Middle East and North African partners, and so on. And what we realize is that we're building actually a global niche in doing so. So that was our case in terms of why and what the criteria for expansion were.
Do you think you can expand into new markets maintaining just investment from your home market, or do you think that's a difficult thing to do?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
It is quite
clearly.
hard to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in terms of expanding into new markets, do you think that it's possible to do with investment from your home market, or do you think you really do need that investment from elsewhere?
Actually, the second option, absolutely. Basically, what the investor brings is money second and expertise first, in my opinion. And without an investor with experience on that market and based in that market, you are very unlikely to succeed. So you can start off with some local investor that you know well, but before you start to expand, you need another investor out there, obviously. With Viewdel, for example, it was hard for you to start because you couldn't find the local investors, right? But when you went to the US market, you couldn't do that with only the Ukrainian investors, right? So
yeah, finding an investor in where. See, you have to be near the market, and if you have someone that can teach you how to go into this market, that's very important. There is another thing that I think it's very, very valuable, even for a small company. Remember, we were not known, right? We were from Ukraine. We knew nobody in California. The first time I went there, it was really the first time I went to that place. There is no penalty to look for meetings and to take phone calls. And it's very interesting, the mentality of Americans or American market, and in a way Japan is similar, strange but similar, is they will pick up the phone and they will do the meeting. And even if they don't know you, we did things that is just crazy. We went in front of people that we were able to sell them a dream of paper. We had no experience. If they would have asked me, so how many times have you done this before? I said, well, I'm sorry, my last job was in Nigeria, so I have not done this before. And so there is no penalty for trying, and you'll be surprised. Most of the case, they take the phone, they take the meeting, and if you can sell them a dream, they will buy it. So we should not have fear of going to a place and expressing the reason why we are proud of what we are doing, and give these clients the reason to buy our products, even if they don't exist yet, because they listen to you. And it is very important also to find the first one. And once you find the first one, and if the first one is prestigious enough, then you'll find the second one easily. But it's not too difficult to find the first one. You just have to try and go. You will fail many times, but there will be ones that will work. You should do it.
So to answer your question about should you get somebody here, if you want to go some other places, do you find somebody who get investors there? It's quite difficult if you sit in Ukraine, even if you have a broad network, to understand that the person who come into you with the money or with some advice is not just trying to take advantage of you, which could be the case. It's better, in many cases, and again, I'm talking from my experience, it's better to pack a bag and fly to that places yourself. It's your idea, it's your project, and it's your future. And hiring somebody who will do it maybe for the money, who doesn't share the ideas, it can actually destroy completely your future, your idea, your sales. My experience, and I know a lot of people from different startups in Scandinavia, in Europe, in US, all big first sales are always done by the person who founded the company. This is true. And if you think there is somebody, even an investor, who will give you a golden something, forget it. You sell. Sell, 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 sell.
Yep. Actually, this is also our case. To answer the question, no, you don't need another investor to expand, but it might help you to do it faster. In our first expansion, what we did, I sat in my car and drove around the region, meeting potential joint venture partners, because what we realized is who is going to help you or benefit as well on the long term and provide value on the long term as well on the local market. Who is going to be aligned with your interests? How to incentivize people? And the answer was find very strong, proven local joint venture partner or a team of entrepreneurs that will join you, be completely aligned and help you build your company there and expand it there. So for entrepreneurs, usually it's not a requirement to get really huge funds. They basically are going to take risks, they're going to defer their salaries, they're going to invest themselves and help you basically expand with very limited resources. But yes, if you want to do it much quicker, sometimes it's helpful to get some additional source. But it's tough to get it on the foreign market, on the market that you are targeting, because first of all, if you couldn't get it on your local market from people that know you, from basically your connection or your network and so on, it's going to be even tougher to get it outside. The next thing is when you're ready to launch, or actually you've proven yourself in a certain region and you are now ready to launch a global position and you need much more funding, for example, in a certain area or a certain company, in that case, yes. And it's also a question, where are you going to get VCs? Because it's very hard to get VCs that are going to contribute beyond just financial resources. That's another question.
Are there any particular pitfalls that startups should look out for? Any classic problems that, when expanding into new markets, that you really should be aware of? Either from personal experience?
I have one question that you need to answer to yourself, because it was asked to me by my first client, and now great friend. He asked me the question, so Dima, how much you want for your life? So what's the number? And you're like, and you puzzle. And is it million? Is it 2 million? Is it 100 million? It's how much? What's your drive? So thinking about, again, knowing why you're doing things, what's your values, why you want to do this business, why are you doing this? And again, never delegate initial sales. That's a my
Yeah, to add on you, because we learned the hard way, is do not listen. They're going to hate me for that. Do not listen to the VC.
give me 5.
Do not listen to the venture capitalist that will say you have to hire a very experienced team that have done it before. You can only do this after you have done it yourself. It's to hire a salesperson, and if you don't know what sales are, you will fail. By the way, we did that, and we failed. We hired a fantastic sales guy. Man, we had no idea what the product was going to be. So do it yourself. You will do it the wrong way. You will not do it very well, but at least you will know what they want to buy, and then you can scale only after that. And believe me, we made that mistake. So don't listen to the investors that will say, hire right away very experienced people who have done it many times before. First, do it yourself. Then you hire the sales team, but not before.
So for us, in terms of expansion, the most important factor or key success factor is people, people, people. You have technology, you provide them centralized support, there are enough funds, but then it really, the criteria of success on the local market depends on your team. And you cannot micromanage from a central location somewhere from London, Palo Alto, wherever. You cannot really solve their problems. So they have to be completely able to sustain themselves, to take decisions, to build a company, be in charge of it, and be completely aligned with your goals. So that's the most important factor for us.
Okay, and before we open up to some questions, are there any more tips that you think are really important to get out to any startups who might be looking to expand beyond this region?
For us, it was always relying on local joint venture partners, incentivize management with shares in the company based on performance, not just because it's a top name on the local scale, and provide them very strong support from the central office, not act like many, not only investors, but also managers perform, like controlling local entities, but basically your local management team is your client. So basically, we as regional managers or president of a company and so on, we are actually there to help local management and local companies to succeed. So this is the third factor that is also worth mentioning.
I can add, you're doing, so whoever is here, I know that there's people with the products or solutions or services or whatever, and your idea is everything, is the core of what you do. Listen for the feedback, never give up the idea. Listen for the feedback from the clients, listen for the feedback for the friends, listen, translate it through yourself, through your understanding of your idea, and stick to your idea. Stick to your idea. It's probably, there will be tons of temptation. Oh, could you have this nice product, could you add these nice things? Well, which will make this product no more your product or something else. If it's really what matters and connected to the core principle of why you're doing this product, yeah, and it's good advantage if there is a really financial reasons for that. If it's not, say no. And a lot of clients, when I said no, actually had a high respect on me and on my product, even though when I was saying no, my legs and hands and throat was trembling. So product, your product and your core idea is important.
Yes, to add into this, people will tell you that you are going to the wall, but my answer to them is, well, until I reach the wall, I'm fine with continuing to go to the wall. So persistence is very important in that case. Just don't give up. There's one thing that is forbidden for an entrepreneur, is to give up. And even in the terrible situation, and we had some in our case, do not give up. It will work at the end. And the other thing, everything you said is perfect. Just the other thing is, have a lot of fun in doing it. Because then that's when you don't give up. And if there is a wall in front of you, well, you'll hit the wall and you'll break the wall and you'll go to the next wall. Right? As long as you have fun in the process and you are consistent, then it will work at the end.
Our case was not going from a local market to the international market, but going directly to the international market. And my prime tip would be to be exposed to that market in terms of reading everything you can find, to go there to conferences or like on any occasion. And by being exposed constantly for years, you can find the idea, the client segment, and figure stuff out. So in this case, you will be able to do it yourself. Without the exposure, you wouldn't know where to start to figure anything out, any part of the business model.
Okay. Should we open up some questions? Did anyone have any questions for the panel? Okay. Have we got any microphones? Not sure if we've got any microphones. Oh, there's one being passed down to you now.
Thank you. Once more, Dmitry Potapov, Global Support. May I ask you, what do you mind? In such situation, I have a team here local in Ukraine, so and they're making the product, and this product I had to customize on my client. Client is abroad, and I have an option to be near my client, to understand if my client, if I really understand his needs. Do I really understand what I have to customize with my products? So and I need to be in deep contact with this client. But otherwise, from the second side, I want to be with my team to control everything, that my team will do everything right what a customer needs. So what do you want? Where should I be in this situation?
Well, my answer is welcome to the world. I mean, we have the same problem. When I'm here, I'm not there. When I'm in Ukraine, I am with my development team. We're dreaming of the next things, but I am not in California and selling it. Man, there's no solution. You have to pack your bag and travel, and that's going to be your life for the next 5 years.
Thank you.
Absolutely the same answer. No change.
Something. So, if you work with a client, not a market, a single client, it could be really time efficient. I mean, the process of finding out what the client wants. So it's not such a nightmare when you're working with, a single company first, and then well, being T-shaped people, when you do everything, you have a vertical skill and have horizontal skill. When you try to work all the roles, this is not great. You have to specialize anyway. So you absolutely have to have a guy who is passionate about making the client happy, and another guy passionate about making the product perfect. So it works really well when you have constant arguments between these people. When it's one person, you start to have schizophrenia, because the argument happens in your head all the time. This is not sustainable,
I see. Thank you. So I mean that I have even either analytic on implementation stage. I have even or I have a PM who controls the team. But where I should be near my analytics,
both,
or near my PM.
Wherever
both.
you are best at.
No, you have to be everywhere. And I know that this sounds ridiculous and it's weird. You have to be everywhere. You have to be with the client and you have to be with the team. And technology exists that allows you to communicate remotely. You can work remotely in the code. You can review the code. You can review the plans. You can and it's up and down. Every time you're not with a client thinks you're not with a client. So so at the beginning, maybe you stay more closer to the client. Then you travel and work with the team. My advice, I always had a person or a close friend who was in Ukraine while I was in the client. We had a mutual, we built this relationship where and he was able to understand me from a hint. It took me 2 years to build this relationship where I say A and the person understands it's A and not B. So,
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? No? Oh. No questions then? Yep, okay. Right, I think we're done then. Unless anyone else has anything else to add to that they'd like to finish off with? Any final thoughts? No, I think we're done then. Okay, well, just if you'd like to thank the panel for all their help.
Sorry, can I answer one more question?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Yeah.
My name is Natalia Kondrashova. I'm Telecomax company representative. So they were told a lot about social networks, for example, Facebook. I want to tell about our experience. There are some applications for social networks developed by our company, but the most popular payment systems, such as PayPal or money bookers, are not available for accepting payments by Ukrainian companies. So, by the way, for example, Chinese credit cards can be processed by Ukrainian banks. So, a lot of potential customers from United States, UK, Germany can't use our company services because of payment difficulties. So, in one side, we have an opportunity to develop quickly. In another side, we are bordered by payment systems opportunities. So, can you comment it and maybe offer something to solve this problem?
you want to start? That's a tough question. No, I can start. Because I can't give you a really answer because it's we can talk during the break. It's not an easy process. Yes, there are some financial things that are not developed in the country. That's true. There are the issue of Ukrainian banks. There is a lot of fraud that's taking place in Ukrainian banks, and I can speak because I work with a lot of them, and it's true. And they are looking how to protect themselves. Because the certain level of protection that exists, for example, in the States or Europe exists, and there is a certain defense against fraud. Or even if the fraud happens, there is insurance on top of it. So for banks it's risk-free. Here it's more risky. I've known a lot of creative solutions that exist already on the market through the different forms of payments that exist through different systems that integrates by itself. But there is no golden bullet today. Maybe it's negotiation with one of the banks to talk about this. I can talk again now I can talk as a Microsoft. We have some discussion with some of the banks that we wanted to create a certain payment system in Ukraine for some services. 99% of the banks said no. One said yes. So we're talking about some project with them and etc. There will be always somebody who might say yes to the Chinese credit cards. So knock, knock, knock. That's
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, I think that wraps it up. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
good luck to everyone. Thanks.